Welcome to Fluent Career English. Today we're not talking about vocabulary lists. We're not talking about grammar rules. We're talking about something more practical and more powerful, training your mouth to talk. Many people understand English. They watch movies. They listen to podcasts. They read books. But when it's time to speak, everything disappears. Their mind goes blank. Their heart beats faster, and their mouth refuses to cooperate. If that sounds familiar, you are not alone. Let me ask you something honest. Have you ever prepared a sentence perfectly in your head, but when you opened your mouth, it came out wrong? That is not lack of intelligence. That is lack of speaking training. Understanding English and speaking English are two completely different skills. Listening is passive. Speaking is active. And active skills require physical practice. Speaking is physical. Your tongue moves. Your lips move. Your breathing changes. Your brain sends signals to your mouth. If you don't practice that coordination daily, your mouth will not respond quickly under pressure. Let me give you a simple example. Imagine someone asks you in a meeting, "What do you think about this idea?" You know the answer. You have thoughts, but you hesitate. You search for words. You translate in your head. And by the time you are ready, the conversation has moved on. That hesitation is not about vocabulary. It is about speed and automatic response. Fluency is not knowing more words. Fluency is responding without panic. Now let's talk about why your brain freezes. When you don't practice speaking regularly, your brain treats speaking English as a stressful situation. Stress slows processing. Slow processing creates pauses. Pauses increase anxiety. Anxiety blocks fluency. It becomes a cycle. But cycles can be broken. Here's the first effective shift. Stop trying to sound impressive. Focus on sounding clear. Many learners think they need advanced vocabulary to sound fluent. But simple, clear sentences spoken confidently are far more powerful than complicated sentences spoken nervously. For example, instead of saying, "From my perspective, I would potentially consider the possibility," just say, "I think this could work." Clarity builds confidence. Confidence builds speed. Now let's move to practical steps. Step 1. Speak every day before you listen. Most learners spend hours listening and almost no time speaking. That creates imbalance. Listening improves understanding, but speaking improves fluency. Before you watch a video or start work, speak for 5 minutes alone. Talk about your day. Talk about your plans. Talk about what you are feeling. It doesn't matter if your grammar is perfect. What matters is movement. Movement creates fluency. Step 2. Train sentence patterns. Instead of memorizing long vocabulary lists, train structures you can reuse daily. For example, "I think that," "in my opinion," "one reason is," "I agree because," "I'm not sure but." Practice these out loud. When someone asks you a question, you already have the beginning of the sentence ready. That reduces hesitation. Step 3. Describe your environment. Right now, look around you and describe 5 things in English. For example, "The room is quiet. My phone is on the table. I feel slightly tired today." This may feel simple, but it builds direct thinking. Direct thinking means thinking in English without translating. Translation slows you down. Direct thinking increases speed. Step 4. Practice under light pressure. If you only speak alone, improvement will be slow. You need small, controlled pressure. For example, ask one question in a meeting. Order coffee confidently. Start a short conversation with a colleague. Small exposure reduces fear. Exposure means putting yourself in real situations repeatedly. Let me share a real scenario. A student told me she was afraid to speak in meetings because she thought her accent sounded strange. So we made a simple rule. In every meeting, she had to say one sentence. Just one. The first week, her voice shook. The second week, it improved. After 1 month, she was speaking naturally. What changed? Not her accent. Her comfort level. Comfort grows through repetition. Now let's talk about shadowing. Shadowing is when you listen to a sentence and repeat it immediately. Not later. Immediately. You copy rhythm, speed, and pronunciation. For example, play a short audio clip. Pause after one sentence. Repeat it exactly the same way. This trains your mouth muscles. It builds automatic speech patterns. Automatic speech reduces panic. Another powerful method is recording yourself. Yes, it feels uncomfortable at first, but record a 2-minute voice note about your day. Then listen to it. Notice where you pause. Notice repeated words. Awareness leads to improvement. Improvement requires honesty. Now let's address fear. Many learners are afraid of making mistakes. But mistakes are feedback. If you avoid mistakes, you avoid growth. Native speakers make mistakes too. They simply continue speaking. Fluency is not perfection. Fluency is flow. Flow means continuing without stopping every few seconds. If you stop every time you doubt yourself, you break your flow. Instead, continue speaking even if the grammar isn't perfect. Communication is about clarity, not perfection. Let me ask you something important. How many minutes per day do you actually speak English out loud? Be honest. If the answer is less than 5 minutes, that is your real problem. Not vocabulary, not grammar. Practice. Fluency rewards action. You don't need more information. You need more repetition. Now here is your challenge. For the next 7 days, speak for 5 minutes every morning. No excuses. No translation. Just speak. After 7 days, you will notice something small but powerful. Your hesitation will decrease. Your confidence will increase. And your identity will shift. Identity means how you see yourself. Once you see yourself as someone who speaks English daily, everything changes. Fluency is not a gift. It is training. Train your mouth. Train your mind. Train your confidence. And remember, you don't become fluent by thinking. You become fluent by speaking. 30-day transformation plus anxiety mastery plus advanced speaking drills. If you truly want to speak fluently, you need more than motivation. You need structure. Structure means a clear plan you can follow step by step. Most learners say, I want to speak better, but they don't have a system. Without a system, improvement becomes random. Random effort creates random results. Today, we're building a 30-day speaking transformation plan. Not theory, not inspiration only. Action. Before we start, let me ask you something direct. Are you ready to feel uncomfortable for 30 days? Because fluency lives on the other side of discomfort. Discomfort means feeling awkward, nervous, or slightly embarrassed. But discomfort is temporary. Growth is permanent. Let's begin. Part 1. The 30-day Speaking Transformation Plan. This plan is divided into 4 weeks. Each week has a focus. Each focus builds on the previous one. Progression is important. Progression means gradual improvement from simple to complex. You don't start by giving speeches. You start by building foundations. Week 1. Activation and awareness. The goal of Week 1 is simple. Wake up your speaking muscles. Right now, your brain understands English, but your mouth hesitates. That hesitation is normal when speaking is not practiced daily. For 7 days, your task is this. Speak alone for 5 minutes every morning. No phone. No translation. No preparation. Just speak. Talk about what you did yesterday, what you plan to do today, what you are worried about, what you are grateful for. Grateful means thankful for something positive in your life. At first, you will pause often. That's fine. Pausing is not failure. Pausing is part of activation. Activation means turning passive knowledge into active use. You are activating your English. After speaking, record yourself once per day. Listen to it without judgment. Judgment means criticizing yourself harshly. Instead of saying, I sound terrible, say, I need to improve my speed. Specific feedback creates improvement. General self-criticism creates fear. By the end of Week 1, your brain will start adapting. Adapt means adjusting to new situations. Speaking will feel less shocking. Week 2, Structured Thinking. In Week 2, we introduce structure. Structure builds stability. Stability reduces anxiety. Instead of random speaking, you practice organized speaking. Each day, choose one topic. For example, success, money, failure, confidence, career, health. Speak for 5 minutes using this structure. Define the topic. Give one example. Share your opinion. Conclude. For example, success means achieving your personal goals. For example, someone might define success as financial independence. In my opinion, success is more about freedom than money. So I believe success depends on personal values. This pattern trains logical flow. Flow means smooth and connected speech. When your thoughts are organized, your speech becomes smoother. Disorganized thoughts create disorganized speech. Now let's talk about something deeper. Many learners freeze not because they lack vocabulary, but because they lack structure under pressure. Structure gives your brain direction. Direction reduces panic. Part 2. Overcoming speaking anxiety. Now we need to talk about fear. Fear of judgment. Fear of mistakes. Fear of embarrassment. Embarrassment means feeling uncomfortable because you think others are judging you. Let me tell you a story. A student once told me she avoided speaking in meetings because she believed her accent made her sound less intelligent. Less intelligent means not smart. That belief controlled her behavior. Belief shapes action. Action shapes outcome. Outcome reinforces belief. It becomes a cycle. So we worked on one small habit. In every meeting, she had to say one prepared sentence. Just one. The first week, her voice trembled. Trembled means shaking slightly. The second week, she felt less panic. After 1 month, her confidence increased dramatically. What changed? Not her accent. Her exposure. Exposure means repeated experience in real situations. Anxiety decreases with exposure. Avoidance increases anxiety. Avoidance means staying away from situations that make you uncomfortable. If you avoid speaking, anxiety grows stronger. If you speak despite fear, anxiety weakens. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is speaking while your voice shakes. Now let's do something practical. Before speaking in a meeting, take one slow breath. Slow breathing regulates your nervous system. Regulate means control or stabilize. When your breathing is slow, your brain receives a signal. You are safe. That reduces anxiety. Now here is another powerful shift. Stop aiming for perfection. Aim for clarity. Clarity means being easy to understand. If people understand your message, you are successful. Perfection is unnecessary. Fluency does not mean zero mistakes. Fluency means continuous flow. Flow builds confidence. Confidence builds presence. Presence means how people feel your energy when you speak. Week 3, pressure training and real conversations. By week 3, something important has changed. Speaking alone no longer feels shocking. Your brain is adapting. Adapt means adjusting to a new demand. Now we introduce pressure. Pressure means speaking when there is risk of judgment. Fluency must survive pressure. Because real life includes meetings, interviews, conversations, and unexpected questions. This week, your goal is exposure. Exposure means putting yourself in real speaking situations repeatedly. Here are your week 3 tasks. Ask one question in every meeting. Start one short conversation per day. Respond immediately when someone speaks to you in English. Speak without translating. Let's talk about meeting simulations. Imagine your manager says, "What's your opinion on this strategy?" Instead of freezing, use a structure. Start with a buffer phrase. A buffer phrase gives you 1 second to think. For example, "That's an interesting question. From my perspective, I believe there are 2 important points." Now your brain has direction. Then continue. The first point is cost efficiency. The second point is long-term growth. Notice something. You don't need advanced vocabulary. You need structure and calm delivery. Delivery means how you present your words. Now imagine a different scenario. A colleague disagrees with you. Instead of becoming silent, say, "I understand your point. However, I see it slightly differently." However signals contrast. Contrast means showing a different idea. Then explain your reason simply. Clarity beats complexity. Week 3 is about responding, not overthinking. Overthinking slows fluency. Immediate response builds confidence. Week 4, thinking directly in English. Now we move to the most powerful shift. Thinking directly in English. Translation is the biggest barrier to fluency. When you translate, your brain works twice. That creates delay. Delay creates hesitation. So how do you stop translating? You simplify. Complex thinking forces translation. Simple thinking creates speed. Start by narrating your life in English. When you walk somewhere, describe what you see. "I'm walking to the office. The weather is cold. I feel slightly tired but motivated." Motivated means driven or energized toward action. Do this daily. Now let's upgrade it. Instead of describing only physical things, describe emotions. I feel frustrated because the project is delayed. I'm excited about this opportunity. Emotion vocabulary increases fluency depth. Depth means richness and detail. Another powerful exercise is silent thinking. Choose 10 minutes per day where you think only in English. Your thoughts will feel slow at first. That is normal. Slow thinking becomes faster thinking. Fast thinking creates fast speaking. Now let's simulate a job interview. Question: tell me about yourself. Instead of memorizing a long answer, use structure. Present, past, future. Currently, I work as a project coordinator. In the past, I studied business management. In the future, I hope to develop leadership skills. Structure reduces panic. Panic blocks access to vocabulary. Access means ability to reach information quickly. Thinking directly in English removes translation delay. Translation delay creates anxiety. Direct thinking builds automatic speech. Automatic means without conscious effort. Advanced speaking drills for intermediate learners. Now let's challenge you. If you are intermediate, basic 5-minute monologues are no longer enough. You need intensity. Intensity means increased difficulty. Here are 3 advanced drills. Drill 1, speed rounds. Choose a topic and speak as fast as possible for 2 minutes without stopping. Speed reduces perfectionism. Perfectionism blocks fluency. Your goal is continuous flow, not perfect grammar. Drill 2, opposite opinion. Choose a topic you believe strongly. Now argue the opposite side. Argue means present reasoning to support a position. This builds flexibility. Flexibility means mental agility. Agility means quick and smooth movement of thought. Drill 3, constraint practice. Limit yourself to simple words only. Explain a complex idea using basic vocabulary. For example, explain financial investment without using the word investment. This trains clarity. Clarity strengthens communication. Now let's simulate a difficult workplace situation. Your manager says, "This project is behind schedule." What? Instead of freezing, respond calmly. "We experienced unexpected delays. However, we are adjusting our timeline and focusing on priority tasks." Unexpected means not planned. Priority means most important. See how structure protects you? Fluency is not random. Fluency is trained. The transformation arc. From silent to fluent. Let's slow down for a moment. Close your eyes for just a second and remember who you were when you first started learning English. Remember the frustration, the confusion, the embarrassment when someone spoke too fast and you smiled even though you didn't understand. Remember the silence. Silence is heavy. Silence in meetings. Silence in conversations. Silence when you had ideas but didn't trust your voice enough to express them. That silence was not weakness. It was protection. Protection from judgment. Protection from mistakes. Protection from embarrassment. But protection also limits growth. Growth requires exposure. Exposure requires courage. And courage does not mean you are fearless. Courage means you speak even when your voice shakes. Now imagine something powerful. 30 days ago, you decided to train your mouth. Not casually, not occasionally, intentionally. Intentionally means with purpose and direction. You spoke every morning, even when you felt awkward. You described your day. You repeated sentence patterns. You recorded your voice. You asked questions in meetings. You stopped waiting to feel ready. And slowly, something began to change. Not dramatically, not overnight, but subtly. Subtle means small but meaningful. Your pauses became shorter. Your sentences became smoother. Your breathing became calmer. You no longer panicked when someone asked you a question unexpectedly. Unexpected means not planned. Instead of freezing, you responded. Maybe not perfectly, but clearly. And clarity builds credibility. Credibility means people trust your ability and reliability. At first, you didn't notice the change. Because transformation rarely feels dramatic in the beginning. It feels uncomfortable. It feels repetitive. It feels slow. But repetition builds familiarity. Familiarity reduces fear. Fear reduction increases confidence. Confidence shifts identity. Identity is powerful. When you begin to see yourself as someone who speaks English daily, your behavior changes automatically. You stop saying, "I'm bad at English." You start saying, "I'm improving every day." That shift is not small. It's foundational. Foundational means forming the base of something important. Now let me tell you something honest. Fluency is not just about language. It's about presence. Presence means how you carry yourself when you speak. It's the steadiness in your voice. It's the calm in your posture. It's the willingness to participate. 30 days ago, you avoided speaking unless necessary. Now you initiate. Initiate means to start something. You start conversations. You ask questions. You share opinions, even when they are simple, because simplicity is strength. Many learners think advanced vocabulary equals fluency, but true fluency is flow. Flow means speaking without stopping to search for every word. Flow comes from repetition, not talent, not intelligence. Repetition. Now imagine yourself in a meeting 6 months from now. Your manager asks for input. You breathe slowly. You say, "I believe we should focus on long-term efficiency." Your voice is steady. Your idea is clear. Someone builds on your suggestion. You feel respected. Respected means valued and taken seriously. That moment is not luck. It is the result of training. Every 5-minute monologue, every uncomfortable recording, every question you forced yourself to ask, all of it compounded. Compound means small actions building into larger results over time. Now let's go deeper. Transformation is not about eliminating fear. Fear will always exist. The difference is your relationship with fear. Before, fear stopped you. Now, fear accompanies you. Accompany means to go along with. Fear might still whisper, "What if you make a mistake?" But you respond, "That's fine. I'll continue speaking." Continuation builds resilience. Resilience means the ability to recover quickly from difficulty. Each time you speak despite fear, your resilience strengthens. Resilience creates emotional stability. Stability builds leadership presence. Leadership presence does not require a title. It requires clarity and calm. Now think about your future self. Your future self is not magically fluent. Your future self is disciplined. Disciplined means committed to consistent action. Future fluency is built by present repetition. If you continue this system for 3 months, your speed will increase. If you continue for 6 months, thinking in English will feel natural. If you continue for 1 year, people will describe you as confident. Confidence will no longer feel like an act. It will feel like identity. Identity determines behavior without effort. When speaking English becomes part of who you are, not something you occasionally attempt, transformation is complete. But here is something important. There will be bad days. Days when you feel slow. Days when you forget words. Days when you compare yourself to others. Comparison is dangerous. Comparison focuses on someone else's peak. Peak means their best visible performance. You are not competing with someone else's peak. You are building your own progress. Progress means gradual improvement over time. Some days progress is visible. Some days it is invisible. Invisible progress is still progress. Remember that. Now let's talk about momentum. Momentum is fragile. Fragile means easily broken. If you stop practicing for weeks, hesitation returns. Fear grows. Speed decreases. That is why consistency matters more than intensity. Intensity means strong effort for a short time. Consistency means steady effort over long time. 5 minutes daily beats 1 hour once per week. Consistency rewires the brain. Rewire means creating new neural pathways through repetition. Your brain adapts to what you repeat. If you repeat silence, your brain strengthens hesitation. If you repeat speaking, your brain strengthens fluency. This is not motivational theory. It is neurological reality. Your brain rewards repetition. Now imagine yourself 1 year from today. You are in a professional conversation. You are not translating. You are not panicking. You are responding naturally. Someone compliments your clarity. Clarity, not perfection. You smile because you remember who you used to be. The person who avoided speaking. The person who overthought every sentence. The person who believed fluency was for other people. But you decided to train. Training creates confidence. Confidence creates opportunity. Opportunity changes life direction. Direction shapes destiny. Destiny is not random. It is built daily. Let's make this personal. What would your life look like if you spoke English confidently in every professional situation? Would you apply for higher positions? Would you negotiate salary? Would you build international connections? Would you express your ideas more freely? Language unlocks doors. Doors lead to rooms. Rooms contain opportunities. But doors only open when you knock. Speaking is knocking. Silence keeps doors closed. Now here is your responsibility. Responsibility means ownership of your results. You cannot control your accent. You cannot control how fast others speak. You cannot control past mistakes. But you can control daily practice. You can control exposure. You can control repetition. That control is power. Power reduces fear. Fear reduction increases participation. Participation builds fluency. Fluency builds identity. Identity builds future. Now I want you to remember something. You are not behind. You are in progress. Progress is powerful. Progress compounds. And compounding transformation is unstoppable. Unstoppable does not mean effortless. It means persistent. Persistence means continuing despite difficulty. Every fluent speaker was once uncomfortable. Every confident professional once hesitated. The difference is not talent. The difference is repetition under discomfort. So here is your turning point. Turning point means the moment everything shifts. Your turning point is not when you feel fluent. Your turning point is when you commit to daily speaking regardless of mood. Mood changes. Commitment remains. Commitment builds identity. Identity builds future. And your future self is waiting. Not for perfection. For practice. Train your mouth. Train your mind. Train your confidence. Because one day soon, someone will say, "Your English is very fluent." And you will know the truth. It was not magic. It was discipline. It was repetition. It was courage in small moments. And it was the day you stopped waiting and started speaking. Keep going. Your transformation has already begun. If this episode helped you, subscribe to Fluent Career English and continue training with us. Your fluency grows step by step, and I'd love to see you in the next one.